Steven Spielberg shares his thoughts on the upcoming Indiana Jones film Dial of Destiny. No Country for Old Men author has another film adaptation in the works. Marvel seems to be picking up serious talent for its Fantastic Four film, and some Gladiator 2 updates. All this and more on this week's episode of Freeze Frame.
Welcome back to Freeze Frame, brought to you by Strictly Casual, the show where we stop to take a moment to discuss all the heavily talked about news of the week having to do with movies, TV, streaming, and pop culture. I'm one of your hosts, Vincent DeSantis, and today I'm joined as always by Ryder Maldonado. Welcome everybody to episode 109. This is a big, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I know we say that most weeks we say we have a lot, but I feel like we have some good touchstone stories to talk about. Guys, please, if you're listening on audio platforms, give us a review. It helps us out a bunch. Hop in our Discord to stay up to date and join our community. We got TikTok for quick updates and news on anything pop culture. We got Instagram, Twitter, and stay tuned because our website is almost complete. I really wanted to have it out by this week. I don't really know if it'll be out by this week. Maybe
No, I think
we
we're
can get it
good.
done.
Because now
Okay.
Yeah. We can
Okay,
cook.
so go follow us on Twitter because we will post a link there and you'll be able to click it and check it out and all that kind of stuff. And it'll be great. I'm very excited for everybody to see it. It'll be
Good
cool.
stuff. Good stuff.
Ryder, I just got off a 20-something hour road trip, right, in which I had a lot of time to listen to podcasts. I listened to 7 podcasts on the drive.
Dang,
Okay.
yeah.
We did like 3 F1 podcasts. I did, a kind of funny podcast. We did Armchair Expert. Now, have you listened to Armchair Expert at all?
No, unfamiliar. Let me know what
It is hosted by Dax Shepard, who was an actor, but now he's doing this podcast, Armchair Expert, in which he interviews anyone. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be actors, other actors. It could be scientists. It could be it just doesn't matter if it's an interesting topic. He talks about it for hours, and he is an incredible host. And I'm listening to this guy for hours on end, like on these days, and I'm like, wow, I have a lot to learn. I feel I am in the infancy of hosting skills. I feel like it's just I'm not even in there yet.
Yeah, it definitely.
And it was like
it's
really
hard, right? Oh, sorry.
yeah. No, you go. It's just, to me, it feels like when he has a new guest on, he's so welcoming right away, and it's like they're just having. It's not an interview. Like it's like they're best friends by the end of the hour or 2 hours or however long the podcast is, and that is a goal. I'm like striving like one day to get there. It was like very inspirational to listen to him and be like, wow, this guy's killing it. He's so good.
Yeah, it makes me think of stuff like even John Bernthal. You make me think of John Bernthal because he has a podcast and he's really good at being very casual in his form and stuff like that. And it makes me think of like, what do they do behind the scenes where if they're like talking for like an hour before, right? And then they're just like, someone brings in the mics and then they just hit record, but they're already an hour into the conversation. So it's easy to have like a good flow and it sounds so natural, Because I feel like you can be kind of robotic, right? You can kind of have that. You put on something if it's like right into it. I know we have to kind of do that because we're short on time, but it's crazy how they're probably, I don't know, who knows what they do, right?
There's this weird. This is 2023 right now, where to get a podcast at a place where people will listen to the full episodes, you have it doesn't matter about the full episode. It matters about these like little pieces that you're posting online and stuff. And it's interesting listening to a podcast that doesn't have a social media presence because it's a different form. Like I watch it, I'm like, wow, this is completely different than like the 10 seconds you get of like a comedy bit between like 2 comedians on TikTok. And you're like, oh, that was funny, swipe. And you only know their podcast from TikTok or social media. It's like, I want a podcast like this, like Freeze Frame Checkpoint stuff.
Yeah.
Where people are listening to the whole episode and being like, oh, I actually gained something from that. Like without that, like I want people to listen to this and be like, whoa, this is a piece of information that I'm excited to share with other people or something like something. And that it was like very interesting to be listened. I just listened to back podcasts and it was like really good. I think it made me like inspired to a point where like I love doing podcasts, like, and there's always things to change. There's always things to change to make it better and stuff. And I don't want these podcasts to become stagnant because it's my favorite part of what we do.
No, for sure. Yeah, I definitely I think personally, like I work on like how I can be like inclusive in conversation, like even training you. It trains, like for me, I think it trains you to like have better conversational skills, like when you're out and about, right, and stuff like that. And yeah, I think that's cool that you got value from listening to that stuff, because yeah, it's crazy. How do you create value from a whole hour, and how do you curate an environment, right, like that? So I'm definitely I'm glad you brought that, and I'm already thinking, I'm like, yeah, it's like, what can I do to help? What can I do to like make
They're
it that,
big.
you know? Yeah.
Like I'll send you. He did a recent one with Jake Gyllenhaal. Obviously, Jake's on his like promotional thing for The Covenant, but like doing a lot of other stuff too. But it really dove into like Jake's whole life, and they just dug into like all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And like if you just listen to like maybe 30 minutes of it or something, you'll be like, whoa. You'll see the host. You'll hear the host and like what he's doing, and it was very impressioning on me. It left an impression on me. That was kind of
That's great,
cool.
dude. Because like another thing too that I've had to like repress over Discord is like if I'm like in real life with you, I like to talk not over you, but to give you those sounds of confirmation that I'm listening, right? Like no, of course. But over this, I don't want to do that, because then it sounds like I'm ready to talk, you know. So I have to be completely silent. But if we're in real life, you know, together, I could talk with you and be like, yeah, I know, like this and this. And it, you know, you could keep going on your point, and you know that I'm not like ready to interrupt you. I'm just listening to you. But over this, it's different. I can't do this here.
It doesn't come across weird, over the audio. Yeah, it's interesting.
I have to like wait, and then just to, you know, it's just a signal. It's just to help out. We're helping each other out, right? But interesting stuff.
So,
I'm glad you brought that.
Anyways, go check out Armchair Expert. It's a very popular podcast. I'm sure people listening to podcasts have heard of it, but it really, I don't know, it was inspiring to listen to for a long time. It was really cool.
Dude. That's cool.
So, jumping into the first story, I'm skipping the clip for now. I want to talk about this one. It's a little bit of a wordy one and a little more niche one, I guess. But Cormac McCarthy, who's an extremely famous author. He has done like a ton of books, like The Road, No Country for Old Men. These are movies. These are books that got adapted into movies, and a lot of other things like that. He has a book that came out in 1985 called Blood Meridian. And it focuses on an unnamed teenager known only as the Kid as he journeys on the American West and falls in with the Glanton Gang, a real-life group of scalp hunters who targeted Indians along the Texas-Mexico border. The book initially received mixed reviews and lukewarm sales, but has since been reevaluated as a classic and a subversive work in the Western genre. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This film is so popular that despite the novel's fame, has a reputation for being unfilmable, doing it due to its graphic content, dark tone, and introspective narrative. Several attempts to adapt the book have already been tried, with directors like Tommy Lee Jones, Ridley Scott, James Franco, and Todd Field. Todd Field did Tar most recently, attached at various points, but all have been abandoned.
Wow.
And I'm looking at this, and I saw articles from like 2006 where it was like, oh, this director's doing the Blood Meridian movie. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
So we got an update this week that says Blood Meridian film will be directed by Australian-Canadian filmmaker John Hillcoat. This is the second time Hillcoat worked on an adaptation of McCarthy's work. In 2009, he directed The Road, a feature based on the author's 2006 novel. And so, yeah, pretty crazy this is coming back. And, I mean, obviously, Cormac McCarthy's books and movies have done well. We have No Country for Old Men winning Best Picture, and we have Billy Bob Thornton, who did All the Pretty Horses, James Franco's Child of God in 2013. And so a very successful run of books to movies in this author's name.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like types of films that we've seen, like types of societal pillaging, you know, like we've seen some pretty gruesome stuff, and we've seen, you know, some pretty graphic themes too when it comes to this subject. So I'm like, what in it that they're like, oh, we need to include this, that they're like, I don't know if we can greenlight that. Even for like an R rating or something where it's like these themes like we're not ready for that yet, or something on that vein.
I would imagine Crazy. It's not just like the violence or the gruesomeness. It's probably not like how it's visually portrayed, but like the political like implications of it is tough, because we're talking about a kid who joins a gang and scalps Indians like from borders, and like it feels not right. It's not like a gang movie, like a glamorized gang movie or something like that. Where like, I don't know, it's kind of gross. It's kind of nasty. So like, how do you do this in a way? How do you tell the story in a way that's like, I don't know, whatever the point is they're trying to get across without.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the right director, because I think of that movie 12 Years a Slave, and how that movie is incredibly hard to watch. But you're talking Steve McQueen, and you know, you're talking best, you know, he won Best Director. Didn't everyone Best Picture? Like, it's like,
well, it's a powerful story.
yeah, only Steve could do, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I think, you get a director attached that cares about the story. They can do it in a way that's like real, and it's like, yes,
Yeah.
there are these themes, and yes, this is history, but
Yeah.
it's a story.
Yeah. Right.
So,
But I think it's
timing,
easier to
right?
get behind because that is history. That is like such a insane part of history
book,
that is following. This is like a fictional. Like,
Mm.
what is he trying to say through this? How can a director get Cormac McCarthy's point across through this? Like, and so I would assume that is tough, but crazy that this has had so many like really high profile people behind it, and now someone else is taking it. So I'm excited to see what comes of this. For sure. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting stuff. Okay, moving on here, we got Steven Spielberg. Is it cool if I go back up?
Yeah.
Okay. Indiana Jones 5 apparently had a screening, and Steven Spielberg says he's proud of what he saw. He says, quote, "I thought I was the only one who could make these." Pretty wild. This comes from IndieWire. Yeah. Steven Spielberg is tuning in for James Mangold's version of the final Indiana Jones installment starring Harrison Ford. Creator Spielberg revealed that he saw the film ahead of the film's 2023 Cannes debut. Dial of Destiny is the first Indiana Jones film not directed by Spielberg. The Oscar winner executive produces the film along with story co-creator George Lucas. He said, "I just had the experience 2 nights ago," Spielberg said at the Time 100 Summit. Bob Iger had a screening for a lot on the Disney executives, and I came to the screening along with the director, James Mangold. Everyone loved the movie. It's a really good Indiana Jones film. I'm really proud of what Jim has done with it. He also added, "When the lights came up, I just turned to the group and said, damn, I thought I was the only one who knew how to make one of these."
Crazy. And I added this quote from later in the article from James Mangold because I thought this was fascinating. It kind of goes in line with other movies that he's already created.
Yeah.
And that is, he says, quote, "I'm always interested in this idea of a hero at sunset. What does the hero do when the world no longer has a place for him? I find it really interesting to try to look at classical heroes through a prism of our jaundiced contemporary attitudes."
Wow.
Because, I mean, that's Logan. It's the washed up,
Yeah.
that's what that is. We have Copland, which he did, which is like a sheriff who's kind of older. Like, it's Stallone plays him. It's like kind of, he's out of his element. There's other people taking over. And he does it really, really well. In those 2 movies, at least. So I can see, I hope that comes across very well.
For sure, yeah. I think of that old classic John Ford Western, The Searchers, because, it's like the Cowboys are kind of done. And as soon as you've saved the family, you saved the girl, your job is done, and you walk away into the sunset, and it's that classic frame of where he walks away. And so it's like, it's the Logan. It's hopefully this in Indy where we see the final, a beautiful goodbye. It doesn't have to be like a death per se. It's just like it's just a walk away or something where it's like, yeah, he did the job. He saved the day. He's done. That's all you need.
I love it. It's exciting. I'm so excited for this movie.
I'm glad to hear Spielberg enjoyed it.
I know, that's kind of a big mark of approval. Can you imagine James Mangold sitting down at a screening for Disney executives, and like the creator of Indiana Jones sits next to you to watch the movie with you, and you're just biting your lower lip for 2 hours of this movie, like glancing over at every big thing that happens. Like, oh my God, it's terrifying.
Yeah. And then he says, "Well, I thought only I knew how to make it, but you made it just like I did." And it's like,
that must have been very,
What? Like, wow.
Gosh.
Thanks.
Pretty cool. I mean, you'd have to think that Harrison Ford wouldn't do it without Spielberg, or like without knowing that it was in good hands. But we know that guy likes to secure the check no matter what it is. He hates Star Wars. He came back. So he's like, Blade Runner, I don't give an F. I'm coming back. Like, he's probably the same with Indy.
Get off of my plane, damn it. No. Yeah. And James Mangold too, like every time, you bring him up and I look him up, I'm like, yeah, James Mangold really is, he's getting there as one of the greats. Like he's
you got to do a deep dive. You got to watch some more of his movies. They're great.
I gotta check out more of his filmography for sure.
They're really, really good.
The fact that he's doing Star Wars is like mind blowing, bro. That's crazy.
I know.
And other stuff. I'm excited for other stuff he's doing.
Indy 5 must be great.
I'm excited. I'm there day one, baby. We're their AMC A-list.
Yeah. Absolutely. I want to go into the clip. Are you ready? Ryder, I'm going to throw this to you.
I'm so ready.
3, 2, 1.
Marvel Studios is rumored to have offered the role of Human Torch to Paul Mescal. Could we have the whole Fantastic Four cast? Apparently, no, maybe not yet. There's rumors though, and there's lots of news, so let's break it down. Vince, what do we got here? Let's get into it. Ready.
According to insider Daniel Richman, recent Academy Award nominee Paul Mescal from Aftersun and in the upcoming Gladiator 2 film, has been offered the role of Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch. We have no idea if he's accepted or not, but the highly in-demand actor is set to play the lead in Ridley Scott's Gladiator sequel. Oh my god, I can't believe I already said that. Which is scheduled to begin filming soon. So there could be some overlap. That's pretty crazy, dude. This is wild. Do you see Paul playing Human Torch? Can you visualize that, or is that not feeling right to you?
I think this is the direction that they need to go in, right? Because yes, the Human Torch, Johnny Storm is a bit of like a wild child, kind of the crazy guy, the Bachelor-esque, right? And from what I've seen of Paul Mescal, he has that youth to him. He has that youth, but he also has a stoicness to him. This is all just from Aftersun alone, right? Like, this is all I've seen him. And I don't know, it's a wild take, but I'm for it.
He plays a subdued, like a very like somber, sad person, but he does have that youth that comes out. I could see it being like completely different than anything we've seen Paul in. Like Normal People also. He's in with Daisy
Edgar Jones.
Daisy Edgar Jones, yeah. And I see clips of that and stuff, and he's playing a similar subdued character in some scenes. He gets explosive in that, but like. This could be really cool.
Yeah,
because not only is it one Oscar nominated actor being rumored, we have another Oscar actor nominated star. Who else do we have, Ryder?
Adam Driver apparently could potentially be in talks for Mr. Fantastic. Again, this is nothing official, but both him and Antonio Banderas are rumored to, Antonio Banderas to be Galactus. So both of these guys, of course, it's rumors for both of them. Silver Surfer is expected to appear, but we're getting, this movie is hot for this cast list. So anytime there's a rumor of a name being thrown out, the press and headlines are gonna latch onto it and say this is the person who's gonna be this. So that's what you got to think about. Take it with a grain of salt. Adam Driver, Mr. Fantastic. Like, I don't like. Look, when it comes to like Mr. Fantastic, from what we've seen in the past,
what do you think?
I don't like. Look, Adam Driver can play a great. Like, I think he can. Very intelligent, scientific, right? But I think it's that star power that they want for this role. It's the whole family needs to have the star power, right? Because apparently, like this family, this is the family of Marvel. This is the Star family, and this could be the one that in their universe, multiverse saga, they're the ones setting it up, and they're the ones connecting the threads. I think. So they need someone big. As for Galactus, that sounds a bit crazy for this.
Antonio Banderas is Galactus. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was mentioning that one, and I was like, I don't know if they're doing Galactus in this. That seems like too big. I know. It's like throwing Thanos in it. Like, that's huge. It's bigger than.
It feels too big. Now Mila Kunis apparently said something that she was Sue Storm or in some interview. Not said it, but hinted at it. But I still want Jodie Comer to play. To play Miss Fantastic. I think that would be so good. And then we have 3 Oscar-nominated actors. We have Jodie, Adam, and Paul. And then who's playing the Thing? Do we have any word on the Thing?
So actually, you're gonna have your mind blown. The rumor was that Mila Kunis was gonna play the Thing. That was the rumor. Isn't that wild?
What?
Yeah, that they were gonna go completely 180 on it, and it was like that. She's a Jewish actress, and that that's the thing that they're gonna.
Wow, she plays Ben.
The thing. Yeah. Well, maybe they gender swapped it, but she was like, she came out and she said, no, I'm not in this film, but I do know who is, because she's friends with Matt Shackman, because they were seen having lunch together. So already,
gotcha. So they hounded her.
Were latching on her. It's like they're just having lunch. Matt Shackman can not work on Fantastic Four.
It's kind of hilarious. It's just the state of there's no privacy anywhere, and so it's when you're helming something that is expected to make hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion. Everybody wants to know everything about it.
We have a quote here. Check out. Read us this quote. Let's see. What is this from? Matt Shackman, right? Or who's this?
Yeah. Let's see. It says, a lot of people know this origin story. A lot of people know the basics. How do we take that and bring something that they've never seen before? He said in a 2022 interview, comparing this new take on the heroes to Marvel Studios' pact with Sony to bring Spider-Man into the MCU. Quote, we've set a very high bar for ourselves with bringing that to the screen.
Interesting.
And this, Ryder, I'm still excited for Fantastic Four. Well, my Marvel fatigue had set in very heavy after some films. There are some great reviews for Guardians for this week. We get to see Guardians this week, which is extremely exciting. I actually forgot it was this week until just this very second.
Friday,
so that's
baby.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I am really hoping I go into this reinvigorated for the next few months or year in Marvel. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yep, everybody, you have till 2025 until Fantastic Four even comes out. Again, delays are healthy, and I hope that delays come, with whatever's going on, right, to reevaluate, but we'll see.
Are you expecting casting confirmation at Comic-Con this year?
I think so. Look, when the rumor mill starts like this is heavy rumor mills for all the casting. I think it's going around. Because we don't have no confirmation though. So yeah, it could be. Yeah. But again, people don't be disappointed if it doesn't, because they have a long time. It could be 2024's Comic-Con. There's
no reason to be disappointed. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. Like if they don't do it, they don't do it. But
the movie's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. It's gonna happen. We're gonna see it,
and it's gonna make a ton of money. If you want to listen to this entire podcast, you can go on podcast platforms and type in Strictly Casual Freeze Frame. It's a yellow box. It says Freeze Frame. This is episode 109. We also talk about Steven Spielberg watching Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny, Cormac McCarthy's new film adaptation. We have some Gladiator news coming up and some Blade updates, which is very, very fascinating. We'll see you guys next time on Freeze Frame. Peace out.
That's cool. Well, I am liking that. That was good. Throwing out our other, nice.
Wait, throwing out our other what? Did I say checkpoint
headlines? No. Just talking about what else we got doing. I was like, that's cool. It's new. I like.
I have to think about when I do it for checkpoint too. I'm like, okay, don't say freeze frame. Don't say freeze frame. I think about it all the time. Oh yeah. And this one, I'm like, don't say checkpoint. Don't say checkpoint.
When I ended the clip on checkpoint, I was like, for some, instinctual, I hear you say it all the time. So I was like, thanks for watching. Peace out. And I was like, I've never said that in my life, but somehow I said it because it's hearing
it just felt right.
Yeah, it felt right.
It feels right.
Okay. What else we have? Here we go. We'll talk about Joseph Quinn, Gladiator 2. And I saw this post on TikTok that they're like, Ridley Scott's trying to make Gladiator 2 the bad boys, not the bad boys, but the white boy summer movie of all.
I don't know who Joseph Quinn is.
Okay, Stranger Things, the Eddie, the main rock star dude from that guy. Got it. Show. So he's hot off the heels.
Oh, that's great. He'll do perfect. He'll fit right in. He's got the look for this.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking about Roman Empire, you're thinking about, the people, how they looked, and yeah, it is gonna be White Boy Summer up in this film.
Oh God, terrible.
I want to see them throw Zac Efron in this. I want to see them throw. No, just kidding.
No,
completely ruined the whole quality of it. No, so Joseph Quinn's in talks to play Emperor Carcalla, and also Connie Nielsen is set to return as Lucilla.
Wow, very interesting.
Now give me some time. Cool. Just like Lord of the Rings, I will watch Gladiator before this movie comes out.
You got to do it. Did you finish Lord of the Rings?
I still have the last hour of the final one. The battle.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Start last night, but edit today. Maybe I'll watch it.
Okay.
Here we go. Deadline says, since so many characters were killed off in the first film, it's been so long since that picture premiered, there weren't a ton of familiar faces to choose from when it came to legacy cast members returning. This is why it's so important to Scott and the studio that Connie Nielsen's character returns for the sequel and made sure she was part of its plans from the start of development. She's the love interest to Maximus in the first film. She's now the main character in that mother-son relationship because she's the mother to Lucius. Is expected to play a big part of the film's story arc. So,
and Lucius is Paul Mescal.
Lucius is Paul Mescal. That's right. Yeah.
Which means that Joaquin Phoenix will probably be. Joaquin Phoenix is in this also, right? He's the antagonist.
Oh shoot, yeah, right. I think.
Related to Emperor Caracalla or something like that. I don't know.
Oh man, that'd be nuts. Yeah, and he's all old, dude. I think of it like kind of Game of Thrones-esque, where that king is all like old and like hurt, like. Just these emperors are all,
But Joseph Quinn's a young guy.
No, I mean, sorry, Joaquin. Like Joaquin is like.
What if Joaquin plays the? Well, I guess he's like, I don't know. He's in his. How old is Joaquin? 50?
He's not old, but I'm saying like.
He still seems like 31 in my eyes. You know what I mean? Like he plays the young guy against Paul Mescal, but it would probably be Joseph Quinn versus Paul Mescal or something like that. That's more likely.
Man, it's gonna be wild. I think this is such a heavily anticipated sequel. Like, I want to see.
Oh, I can't.
More stakes. The stakes can be so high, bro.
You gotta watch Gladiator.
Oh, I know.
It's so good.
Like, you're not.
It's a classic.
and he goes in the field. So he walks. He puts his.
It's beautiful. It's really good.
It's gonna be great,
guys. We got an update on Blade after it gets out of production, in production, out of production, new script, new cast, new directors, blah 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 blah. All this blah blah blah. Now we have more updates. Blade invites True Detective creator across the threshold to help work on the script. So Mahershala Ali, he's saying he's not even done with this. He's not done. He's not done with pre-production yet. They've been in it not long enough.
I salute them, man. Because, you know,
totally.
This is real quick. This is a recipe for disaster. We've seen this happen, right? And this film could come out and it could be a complete like mess up because we know script rewrites, delays, this and that. Mahershala's like, I'm not going to let this happen in this movie. Give it time.
Which is awesome.
He's giving it care.
So Blade, this comes from Hollywood Reporter. Blade is batting its wing towards a late May start of production in Atlanta with Yann Demange, who helms the pilot of HBO's boundary-pushing horror series Lovecraft Country. Or is it County? Is it Country? Lovecraft County? Country?
I guess it's Country. I always thought it was County.
Me too. In the director's chair. Blade currently has a script by Michael Sturbury, who earned an Emmy nomination for penning an episode of Ava DuVernay's drama When They See Us. Sources say Pizzolatto is working off of Starbury's draft and has been keyboarding for a few weeks now. Keyboarding. Ha. Who is Pizzolatto?
Jeez. Now, I'm sorry. Did they bring a new name?
That was a new name. I didn't get any. There was no, no background. No background on that.
Back to
anyways.
For me.
The release date is still September 6th, 2024 for Blade, which means that's an interesting. Well, no, that's about right. If it starts production May 2023, comes out September 2024. Oh, here we go. Pizzolatto was a novelist and short story writer before transitioning to screenwriting and became a known name thanks to True Detective, the acclaimed crime series that airs on HBO. Now, True Detective never has hit its ratings since the first season. But also remember that Mahershala Ali was in the third season. He was the star of the third season of True Detective. So there's already a connection there of them probably working together at some point.
Yeah, and that's what I told you on Twitter. I was like, I want to say, they were like, who could bring? You know what? I got a friend. Let me get on the call and just say like, hey, buddy, like, you want to help us out? You want to get involved? Let's
totally.
do this. Which is pretty cool. How the industry works. It is that.
Cool.
You can just kind of call up a friend. It's all about connections.
It's all network.
Right?
It's all network.
This is good stuff. This is good. Look, I think production is like, it's been halted already too much now, and I think it's like kind of like, we gotta get into it. I hope that the script is like done, because again, we've seen too many times where they start production and the script isn't even finished. So look, but it's Mahershala, and we know the caliber of this guy. Like, I really am hoping that he understands that this film can't just be like another throwaway with Marvel. It has to matter, because it is Blade, and it's kind of weird. It is a stretch. It's vampires.
It is a weird movie. Yeah.
So they gotta make them work. They gotta make sure it works.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good talent. Good talent here. Good talent.
I think there is a lot of good talent. I'm excited to see this movie still. I still can't believe the first three exist. The first three Blades are wild. They're crazy. And if this is anything like this, it's going to be hilarious. Hilariously good time.
I don't know how it's going to how they're going to make that work in like a connection.
They need to capture the vibe of Werewolf by Night in where it's like kind of hokey a little bit, because it has to be a little bit. It can't take itself overly like. What? No, that's the thing. It has to take itself seriously, or else it's dumb. And it'll take itself seriously, but also be a little ridiculous, because that's how the other ones are too, and they work.
I can already tell you right now. Here's how the first trailer, you know how they show the title card and then there's like a stinger joke at the end? It's going to play along the lines of, let's say there's a child or like a normal human that just met Blade. And it's like, so what are you, like a vampire that like hunts vampires and stuff? And then it cuts to him.
Oh, God.
No.
Chopping a child up in multiple.
And he's like, yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
No, that's worst case scenario. I
and really then he slices up the child and looks at the camera and he says, well, that just happened. Did you see the latest trailer for Guardians 3? It was like a social spot, and at the end, Rocket Raccoon sits on the table and he looks at the camera and says, well, that just happened. But it was like an obvious James Gunn joke of making fun of the people that say that Marvel movies do that, which is it's hilarious.
Yeah, because it kind of spoiled something huge in it. And
I didn't see that.
That's good. It's good. In that one, it was like, oh shoot, they're in it. And then he was like, that just happened. It's like, oh my God, why would you show
I didn't see.
That's
Okay.
good. That's good.
Cool.
But yeah, that's it for like our big headlines. That was the last of it. Some fun stuff. Some good stuff today for sure. I brought like some small ones. Transformers. After the Paramount CinemaCon, they got some. I don't know if I brought this about Chris Hemsworth is gonna voice Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I think we did talk about it. It's crazy.
We don't have to say it. So yeah, we talked about that already. Yeah, last week, CinemaCon news and stuff, which I thought was.
I mean, I don't know the rest of this cast list though.
Brian Tyree Henry, Megatron. Scarlett Johansson's gonna play Alita. Keegan Michael Key's Bumblebee. John Hamm, Sentinel Prime. Lawrence Fishburne, Alpha Trion.
Hell of a voice cast right there.
That's nuts, dude.
Hell of a voice
for
cast.
An animated movie. Like, that's a big budget, bro.
That is huge. You also have here that the first Avatar: The Last Airbender animated movie from Avatar Studios glides into theaters October 10th, 2025. So a little ways out there to see the Avatar animated movie.
I think some photos were released. They all look older. Like, they look taller and older.
Oh, is that what is it a continuation movie?
No, but they have them older. Like that kid. I mean, I'm not familiar with this, but they showed the Yang, right?
Aang?
And he's like a normal. He's like a young man. He doesn't look like a child like he used to.
Well, I gotta see.
Yeah, maybe he's just taller, but something about it was like the first images of blah blah.
I'm looking this up.
And yeah, this is
New
also
movie
from
photos.
CinemaCon, and I was like, I don't think I brought this. But
It looks dark. It looks sick.
Yeah.
He has a full beard. He's like, whoa.
Really? What?
Yeah, dude. This is showing Aang.
Oh shoot, that's wild.
Doing his thing. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be the first of 3 movies. That's pretty cool.
Here, look.
But we don't really know.
Post the link right here in the doc. Check out
a lot
that.
of people left. Looks like a lot of people left to the show.
That's the one. I'm like, beard. That might be.
Oh, maybe I'm looking for something else. Looking at something else.
I think this is the only photo that was released. This is what I'm talking. He looks older here.
Oh, just kidding. That is not the animation I'm looking at. Maybe I'm looking at the show or something.
Okay,
I never finished Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I apologize.
Yeah, sorry,
guys. It's very anime versus animation.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Different take on it.
I don't know. I'm excited. I think The Last Airbender's dope.
Yeah. So Vince.
Yep.
What have you been watching?
Let me dive in here. I'm pulling open the letterbox. It's not a lot since last week. We talked about Ghosted, correct?
Yeah. We talked about Ghosted. I was hating on it. You thought I remember what you said.
I watched a little more Star Wars Rebels, which is cool.
Oh, yes.
I'm still in season 3.
Okay.
I haven't watched much since last week, to be honest. But last night, we got back, or 2 nights ago, I got back from this long road trip, sat down on the couch, extremely tired, and I wasn't looking for anything super serious to watch. I was like, I don't know. I don't really want to watch like a TV show right now. I don't want to start anything. And so we put on 10 Things I Hate About You, which I have never seen before.
Wow, that's classic, yeah.
Heath Ledger is so good. This movie's awesome. I understand why it has a total cult following. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's a little baby dude, like a little 15-year-old in this movie. It's so good. It's so fun. I can't really. I mean, people have probably seen 10 Things I Hate About You. It's kind of like everybody's seen it, but it was my first time watching it, and I loved it. So
that's awesome.
That's that.
I've only seen that clip of when he sings "I love you, baby."
Oh, the clip is so good.
And I was like, oh.
It hits in the movie. It was a jaw drop moment.
Wow.
And then one other thing that I haven't fully gathered my thoughts on is I finished Beef, the Netflix show with Ali Wong and Stephen Yeun. Nice. And Beef is so good. It is so good. I highly recommend everybody watches it. In my opinion, my little off-the-cuff reaction to the end was that I feel like it escalates too far and loses what makes it so great in the first 4 or 5 episodes. All that to say, it is great. It wraps up so much stuff. Like it's perfect. It's like a perfect little 10 episode box, and it's done. 30-minute episodes. There's no need to explain further. I thought the themes were very impactful and they worked very well. My problem is like kind of just like the extremes that it goes to becomes a little bit like, you're kidding me. Like, really?
Yeah.
Whereas some people might love that. That might be a little bit of takeaway for me, but some people might absolutely I know people love that. So
the insanity of people, right? The actions.
I recommend watching Beef. It's very good.
That's great, dude. I've heard lots of good stuff about it. I don't think it's for me. I
Did you try it?
you. Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I was like,
really?
First step, and I was like, oh, okay.
You peed on the floor? That didn't get you hooked?
I was just like, I don't think I need this right now. I'm already watching too much stuff like in this vein of whatever. Sure. I was like, I want something a little happy, and you know what's making me feel happy?
Yeah, it's not happy.
It's Ted Lasso. That's what's making me feel happy, dude.
Oh yeah,
dude. I couldn't recommend this show enough, even above Succession and Barry, because it's what we need right now. We need the positiveness. I don't think we get happiness in a show. You know, you're like waiting for something bad to happen, and then the episode is just food and family and culture and football is life, and you're just like, this is so happy and positive. It's so positive, dude. Like they single-handedly make you 180 hate Nate, love Nate, hate him again, and love him back to being the same old Nate that he was. It's like
spoilers.
It's not really spoilers. It's because
you
don't know.
The last episode that I saw was when they hate Nate. When I hate Nate with a passion.
And you're still gonna hate Nate. Nothing changes.
Cool.
You'll see. You'll know.
I'm excited.
You'll know what I mean.
I finally got that resub on the Apple TV, so I'm ready to go. Ready to watch that.
But besides that, like, it's just a fantastic show, bro. There's just so much good stuff going on. I'll tell you that.
That 3D printer is screaming.
Yeah, that's, you know what that is? That's the washer. I let me close the door.
Oh, it's the washer.
Here,
okay.
Chat about things to say about you. I just need 5 seconds. Ready?
All right, I'm ready. The other thing that I kind of want to watch is there's this documentary on Disney Plus that came out recently, and it's on my watch list. No, this is serious though, that I do want to watch this, and it's called Retrograde, I think, and it's about it seems very intense for Disney Plus. Like, not really there. I think it was like a Nat Geo thing, and the Nat Geo uses Disney Plus to put some of their documentaries on, which is interesting. But it was about like the last Americans in Afghanistan before we took all the troops out, and like how effed up the Afghanistani people like are, just the regular people that are not part of the war, because of the Americans being there for so long. Yeah, and it looks crazy. Like I really want to watch it.
That sounds interesting. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's on Disney Plus. Something else. I want to check out Sisu. That one seems like that one's huge on the
week.
Charts.
I would love to go see that.
Comes out this week? Yeah.
It's already out. I want to go watch it.
Shoot. How's your early week looking? Monday and Tuesday.
I'll call up the movie bros. I'll get Brandon, the AMC A-listers here, and say, let's get a squad together.
The entourage going. Okay, for sure. Yeah, I'm ready to see it. You let me know.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
We'll plan a time. And then we also have what else is going on? Man, I completely lost my train of thought of what I've been watching. The ending of Lord of the Rings, that's on my list to check out.
I'm so proud of you for finally going through the whole series.
Oh, that's what. Thank you. Yeah, I finally did it. This is what I wanted to say. After watching Barry last night, I won't say spoilers or anything, of course. Barry, such a phenomenal show. The words on the streets are Bill Hader, his next project will be a horror film. And after last week's episode, there was one moment that I was like, if Bill Hader were to do horror, it would be so good.
Really?
Because I'm watching something, and I'm like, this is just the precipice of what could potentially be a good framing, cinematography, editing, producing. I'm like, this he got something cooking, and I know this guy, he can make some good horror. So
I'm excited to watch Barry.
Yeah. I think horror is the next thing, and if there's anything else that he's cooking up, we'll see what he's doing.
Yep. Amen, dude. Amen. Also, little thing, Return of the Jedi, when it came out this weekend, earned $5 million. $5 million this weekend, even only playing one showtime at one night, which is great.
That's not good. Is it going to get enough money for a sequel? Because, like, that's not the budget that it made.
Don't know. You're right, dude. It cost $32 million to make. I don't think they made enough this weekend to make more Star Wars movies. Crazy.
Oh, no. That's not good.
Poor George. I'll give him a call, dude. Oh, man. Poor George.
Well, there you have it, y'all. This was a short episode. It was shorter than
45 minutes is solid length.
Okay. 40 hours
perfect length. Doesn't overstay its welcome, Ryder. These people, they get to 40 minutes, they're like, man, these clowns.
These chunguses, I'm ready to talk
We're done.
Yeah. Everybody have a great week. This is May the Force be with you for May the 4th, because, baby, it's Star Wars time.
It is Star Wars week. I love you all. May the 4th be with you. We love you.
May the 4th be with you.